Chantel, how do I know if it's time to rebrand my business? Friends, this is a question I hear quite often. And maybe you've had your business for a while and you've started wondering, does my brand even fit into who I am anymore? Or maybe you've only ever had a logo, a little DIY situation you threw together when you first started, and you're starting to feel like something is missing. If that's you, you're not alone. And don't worry, rebranding doesn't have to mean scrapping absolutely everything and starting from zero. Sometimes it's just a refresh, but other times it can be a full rebuild. Either way, this episode is going to give you clarity on whether it's time to make a change and how to do it in a way that honors God. Friends, have you ever felt like God was nudging you to do something, but it feels so far out of your comfort zone that you want to run the other way? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to the Her Brand, Her Calling podcast, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a space for Christian women like you who want to build something that honors God, a ministry, a faith-led business, a brand that points people back to Him. We're here to talk about the messy part, the obedience part, the trust part, as we dig into branding, business, and faith, so you can build with purpose and boldness, even if you feel unqualified. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's grow together. You know, when we first start our businesses or ministries, a lot of the time we make do, right? We pick a name, we make a logo on Canva, we use some random colors that we like, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. We do what we can with what we have, right? But over time, your business grows, and you grow, and God refines your calling, and then one day you look at your website or your Instagram feed and think, oh wow, this does not feel like me anymore, or worse, I'm embarrassed to send people here. Does that sound familiar? I've been there a few times, and I've recently been asking myself, is it time to look at a rebrand? Before we dive into the signs that it's time to rebrand, let's make sure we're on the same page about what rebranding actually means. Rebranding isn't just about changing your logo. There may be cases where you need to relook at your logo, but it's about realigning your visual identity and your message and even your overall vibe so that it actually reflects where God is leading you in this next season. Sometimes that means small tweaks, and sometimes it's a bigger transformation. But it's never just a logo swap. Your brand is a first experience people have with your calling. It is how you communicate your mission, and if your brand isn't reflecting that mission anymore, it's probably time to pause and reassess. So now let's go through a few signs. It might be time to rebrand, and I want you to really think about these and see which ones resonate with you. Okay, so sign 1, your brand doesn't reflect your current mission or vision anymore. Maybe you've started and you're offering one kind of service, but now God has led you into a whole new direction. Let's say you started as a VA, but now you're a Christian business coach. Or you started making handmade products, but now you're doing ministry and speaking. If your brand doesn't show that shift, people won't understand what you're doing, and that's not serving them well. Sign 2, your audience has changed, and sometimes your ideal client evolves over time. You may have started working with anyone and everyone, but now you've niched down, and maybe you're specifically serving women of faith in a particular group of people. If your branding doesn't speak directly to them, it's time to relook at it. Sign 3, you feel embarrassed to send people to your website or socials. Oh, ouch. Be honest with yourself here. If you cringe a little when someone asks you for your link, that's a sign your visuals or your message aren't lining up with your current standard or style. And you deserve to feel confident about your brand, right? Sign 4, you've had a big spiritual growth or a shift in your calling. We know God moves us from season to season, right? And sometimes the brand we started with was fine for that season. But now He's doing something new. And Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Sometimes your brand needs to reflect that new thing He's doing. Sign 5, you only ever had a logo and no real visual identity. This is a big one. If you're relying on just a logo without any brand guidelines, no set colors, fonts, tone of voice, your brand will end up looking messy and inconsistent, and that creates confusion for your audience. Actually, let me share a real story here. I shared it in one of my previous episodes, but I had a client come to me, lovely lady, successful business, but all she had was a logo, and she wanted me to make some designs for socials and print work, and I asked for colors, fonts, and brand guidelines, but she had none. So she just told me, well, pick a font, choose 2 of the colors from our logo, and even if they don't quite match up, that's fine. I did my best, but honestly, it looked really messy. And worse, the tone of the content she sent was very formal, but she herself was this fun, energetic, high-vibe person. Her visuals were saying one thing, but she was saying a completely different thing. And later we sat down and went deep into her brand, aligning her visuals and her messaging and with who she really was. And this suddenly made everything just flow. It felt like her. And that's the power of branding done right. It's about clarity and consistency and connection. Sign 6, people are confused about what you do. If you're consistently having to explain your business, or people assume you do something else, your brand isn't communicating very clearly. And that's when it's time to refine it. Now let's talk about what not to do when you're thinking about rebranding. Please don't do it just because you're bored of your colors or you saw somebody else's brand and got a bit jealous. A rebrand should come from clarity and not comparison. And please don't just chase trends. Your brand needs to be timeless and God-led and not whatever is trending on Pinterest for this week. Most importantly, don't rush it. Pray first. Ask God what He wants this business to represent. Ask Him who He wants you to serve in this next season. And write the vision and make it plain, as in Habakkuk 2 verse 2. Let Him lead the process. So if you're listening right now and you're wondering where to even start, well, I've got you covered. I have created a free brand guidelines questionnaire. It's called Discover Your Brand. That will help you reflect on your current brand. You can sit down with God as your CEO and pray through each question and start seeing where you might need a refresh or full rebrand. The link is in the show notes and it's totally free. But before we wrap up, let's do a quick interactive exercise, right? Close your eyes for a second, unless you're driving. Again, then please keep them open. Imagine your dream client landing on your Instagram page right now. How would you want them to feel? Inspired, calm, excited, supported? Now open your eyes and think, does your current brand create that feeling? If not, maybe God's nudging you that it's time for a little change. Friend, your brand is not just a logo or a pretty color palette. It's part of the calling on your life. It's how you show up to serve others and point them to the one who called you. So don't be afraid to pause, reassess, and let God lead you into a new, fresh season, even for your brand. Friend, I hope this episode has helped you. Don't forget to grab that free brand questionnaire in the show notes. And if you've loved this conversation, please share it with another faith-led woman who needs this encouragement too. Until next time, keep building boldly, keep trusting Him, and remember, God's got every step of your journey in His hands.